Who is Jeremy Bentham? Jeremy Bentham was born in Spitalfields, London on February 15, 1748. When he was a toddler, he was sitting at his father's desk reading a multi-volume history of England and had already started studying Latin at only 3 years of age. By the age of 12, he was sent to Queen's College, Oxford. His father was an attorney and had already decided that Jeremy would follow in his footsteps by taking an interest in law. His father was certain that his very intelligent son would one day be Lord Chancellor of England. Soon after, Jeremy began to be disappointed with the law, so instead of studying the law, he decided to write about it. He spent his life criticizing the law that exists and suggesting ways to improve it. After the death of his father, he was very financially independent and spent his time writing 10 to 20 sheets of manuscript a day. What were his contributions to the creation of law? Jeremy is associated with the doctrine of utilitarianism and the principle of the greatest happiness of the greatest number. This was only the starting point for a very drastic assessment of society, which was intended to test the value of existing institutions, practices, and beliefs against an objective evaluation standard. He made many contributions to the law, such as being an outspoken advocate of law reform, an aggressive critic of established political doctrines like natural law and contractarianism. He was also the first to produce a utilitarian justification for democracy. He was also very opinionated on subjects such as prison reform, religion, poor relief, international law, and animal welfare. Jeremy fought for universal suffrage and the decriminalization of homosexuality. Jeremy is a very respected man in both Britain and in other parts of the world by the 1820s. During the 19th century, his ideas were heavily to influence the reforms of public administration. His writings were still talked about during academic debates, especially when it comes to social policy, legal positivism, and welfare economics. There is an aim in producing the first scholarly edition of all his works and correspondence called the Bentham Project, which will be a total of 70 volumes. How has his ideas influenced our laws today? Jeremy has influenced our laws today by promoting individual and economic freedom, the separation of church and state, freedom and expression, equal rights for women, the right to divorce, and the Decriminalization of Homosexuals Act. He also fought to eliminate slavery, the death penalty, and physical punishment, which includes that of children. Jeremy is primarily known today for his moral philosophy, especially his principle of utilitarianism. This looks at actions based upon their consequences. His influence on law was very minor during his lifetime. It was only in the later years that his ideas were of greater impact and were carried on by people such as John Stuart Mill, John Austin, and other consequentialists. The end.